So welcome back to the channel, you guys. We have merch, as I stated. Now, this isn't the final print of the t-shirt. I actually ordered this before I was even done making all my final mock-ups for all the shirts and stuff that I have available on the shop, which is going to be listed in the description. It's also on the cover of the channel. So if you want to check out the store, go ahead, feel free. But this is what it looks like. So the merch is in. Now, the final version does have God Family Clout underneath this, and then there's other shirts and other things that are available on there if you want to take a look. So hopefully you like the look of it. The shirt feels pretty good. I like it. It does, there's also going to be washing and drying instructions on the site, so you don't end up shrinking or effing up your material if you decide to get, white or whatever other color that's available. There are a lot of other colors available, so feel free to choose whatever one you like. If you decide you get on there, definitely been grinding and putting some stuff on there that maybe you will enjoy and like in the future. So this is what it looks like, and this is a large. I mean, damn, I didn't know it was gonna come out this big because it has me looking awfully emaciated, and that was not the goal. But today we are discussing things that I'm truly passionate about, again, which is video games. Resident Evil 9 has finally been announced, and a lot of people have been talking about it for a long time. A lot of speculation has been going about what is going to be in this game. What's it going to be about? Are they going to announce it? What year is it coming out? Well, luckily it's coming out on my best friend's birthday. So whenever it comes out, at least when his birthday comes around, I can be like, dang, I remember this day was supposed to be important for a reason, and it has nothing to do with you. So I will remember exactly when this game comes out, and I will have it. If there's anything in my life that I will have probably on the day of purchase or the day it comes out, it's probably Resident Evil 9, Final Fantasy 7, the last game that comes out, and I don't know, I can't really think of too many others right now, but this is one of those IPs that I dive all the way into. But the thing about this game is, this is basically a continuation of RE Outbreak, one of the few games I didn't play. I didn't play Resident Evil Outbreak, and I'm really disappointed because it came out a long time ago and it looks so much different. I remember when I was younger from the mainstream games that they had in the series, and I was like, I don't know how much I want to play this. Plus it was co-op. It seemed a little clunky, but I really should have just played the game, and I probably would have enjoyed it some way or, somehow. And a lot of people seem to love it. And it was a game that was ahead of its time when it came to the co-op play and mixing in multiple users in the interface. Now, once again, I'm not really sure why or how they were able to put 4 people on the screen to play Resident Evil games. That seems kind of chaotic all in one sense to me, since it seems like it's already clunky if you put 2 in there, but that's not what I'm talking about today. Now, there's already people bitching and complaining about the fact that you see a female protagonist in the trailer, which is just a continuation. It's the daughter of the main character that was in Resident Evil Outbreak. Honestly, I don't think she's gonna be the main character in this game. I've heard other rumors talking about she's probably gonna be a side character, and there's been too many things alluding to Leon being in this game. First of all, I don't think you're gonna go back to RPD and not bring back Leon Kennedy, or bring back Jill, or bring back Chris, or one of the main staples of this series. I don't think they're going to bring back Claire, which is really disappointing. I love Claire. Claire is one of my favorite characters, but unfortunately, I don't think she's coming back. But if they bring back Leon again, this means Ada Wong is going to be in the game. Ada's going to be there because you can't have a Leon game without Ada. Now, other people are probably going to think, well, Wesker's probably going to return as a main villain in this game, and that is very possible. But that would also be very weird because his main arch nemesis is Chris Redfield, which means you can't have Wesker without Chris Redfield because there is no rivalry with Leon Kennedy and Albert Wesker. These people, as far as we know, never met. I mean, think about it this way. Albert Wesker is so much of Chris's rival that remember how thin Chris was in the very first couple RE games? Chris wasn't the swole monster that you started seeing in the later titles. Chris was a string bean. Chris was just a normal soldier like me if you put me into a uniform. But when he got his ass kicked by Wesker out there in Code Veronica, like dog stomp. I mean, he got his ass beat worse than Vegeta did against Android 18. It was truly embarrassing. And the only thing that saved Chris was the fact that that pillar fell down and everything started to explode. He survived that battle. He got away, but he knew deep down he really didn't have no smoke, or at least not enough smoke for Albert Wesker. He was going to get killed that day because he didn't have powers. Albert Wesker obviously has been infected with not just the T, the G, the A, the S virus. He's been infected with all the viruses. He got something way better than Tyrant got because he got to keep his human form, which made him a very compelling and wonderful character, going back all the way to the beginning of time of Resident Evil when they had the greatest dialogue in the history of video games.
I was formerly with Umbrella, yes. but now I'm prepared to face anything. Even getting rid of you vigilante stars.
Now, the worst possible situation has occurred. The failure of the experiment created a virus, a biological weapon, polluting the entire lab.
No, the worst happened with the tyrant virus. I lost some of my star's team members because of it.
You killed them with your own hands. Did you kill Enrico?
Really?
Yeah, like this.
Rebecca!
Don't move. If you do, I'll kill you. Chris, I have something to show you. Now, walk.
Barry! Where's Barry?
Well, I'm sorry, but he's probably...
No. What is that?
I'll go and check.
Okay, Jill and I will stay in the hall in case of an emergency.
Captain Wesker, where's Chris?
Stop it! Don't open that door!
But Chris is...
What is it?
Maybe it's Chris.
Like, these stale voice actors definitely put all the charisma and all the character that we created in the back of our minds for what these people were set up to be in the future. And honestly, it made great lore that was mostly made up out of our imagination. Now, I do want to make a deeper video talking about how Resident Evil was really just a construction of our own imagination, where the great IP that is Resident Evil, a lot of the lore, a lot of the greatness that we build into these characters is really just stuff that we created in our own heads, because the material that they gave us on the actual platform, on the PlayStation, in the little mini comics, wasn't much to build these people out to be what they ended up being. But back to the wokeness of the game and the fact that people are really upset seeing there's another female character, I guess, going to be a main or a lead in one of these video games. I know it's got people like the Critical Drinker pissing in his pants and shitting all up in his cereal because he's really upset. And all those other people like Hills Meat Babyface and, you know, all the people that just be crying to the moon about how oppressive and how bad the games are because there just isn't enough white men in the video games. You know what? How many black people love Resident Evil and we haven't had one black playable character yet? And I don't see people bitching about it at all. But these people are running around here all upset at the fact that they don't have enough white men represented in these games. Now, I guess they're going to be happy if they get to see one of their homeboys returning this title, which guess what? A lot of people will be very happy about that. Even the women and even the minorities, because we do like these characters. Now, if some of those guys will stop crying so much and just embrace the fact that sometimes different is good, different is progress, and different can actually make your title a go over the top, then you would realize it would be a great title. But we're not going to talk about that here today. But I'm just starting to ramble. My thing is, I think this title has a chance to be really, really good. I don't think they're going to go back to first person. I'm pretty sure that's pretty obvious, considering over in RE Village that, you know, the extra DLC that they had with Ethan's daughter, it went back to third person. So I don't think they're going back to first person. I'm pretty sure that was a very exclusive thing to those titles, which was great. And I really enjoyed the difference that they had in those titles versus all the other ones. But back in the RE engine, you know it's going to be third person. And this game is going to look incredibly well. And it's probably going to play incredibly well. But I'm really excited to see them go back into the RPD after it's been nuked. New setting, new enemies, new everything. I'm just curious to know who you think is going to actually be the main antagonist of this video game, because Leon doesn't have any real rivals. I mean, what, Tyrant? Tyrant is not a rival. He died. He finished off all his enemies. Chris is one of the only people who didn't finish off any of his enemies, and all his people always die. Nobody sees more people die than Chris Redfield. All you see is tragedy. That's why everybody kept thinking people like Jill were going to die around Chris Redfield, because every other partner he's ever had ended up in a grave. So you're hoping that nobody else ends up dying, but everybody's also predicting that this is a video game where Leon Kennedy could die. But what bothers me is everybody keeps getting all their sources, whether it's Fund My Life or Center of Evil or Residents of Evil or Ink Ribbon or other people who cover Resident Evil. There's a lot of people in the Resident Evil space out here on the internet, and most people all listen to this one same guy named Dust Golem. And I'm pretty sure you know who I'm talking about if you're watching this video. If you don't, then you'll see about it here in the future. The thing is, Dust Gollum is a guy who just keeps just throwing things out there, and he's wrong about everything, it seems. Every time he makes a prediction about what this game was going to be, it didn't turn out that way. It didn't turn that way out at all. He did not predict that the main characters or anybody who's going to be in this game was in it. This trailer looks nothing like he predicted. Not at all. He said nothing about it going back to RPD. Well, maybe he did one time about that, but that was after he made about 15 different predictions. It's like, dude, if you just keep throwing shit out there, something is going to be right. If you make up enough rumors about a video game where you only have so many limited places to go, you're eventually going to hit the dartboard somewhere. And he eventually landed on that. But every time somebody reports something on Resident Evil, there's news that comes out. There's at least 10 different channels that just post, ooh, we got some news. Dust Gollum said this, Dust Gollum said that. Like, dude, get off of Dust Gollum's nutsack and just do some reporting yourself. Read on the internet. If there's no news, there's no news. If there's no rumors, there's no rumors. Stop listening to the crap that he's putting out there. It's so irritating because when the trailer came out, everybody was shocked like, oh my God. You know why? Because he had no idea what the F he was talking about. He was just shooting shit out there. So when people say take this with a grain of salt, literally just take it with a grain of salt. Like, there's nothing to go with it. Just go ahead and come up with your own theories. You'll be better off just doing that. Like me, I don't know who the main character is going to be of this game outside of, now just going back to Alyssa Ashcroft's daughter, who's going to be a main protagonist in this game. Honestly, I'm just excited to see something different. We always get the same characters in Resident Evil, so to see something a little bit different will be kind of nice. So if Ada's not in this game, I would be a little disappointed, especially if they put Leon in it, or if you put like Chris in the game and you don't see Jill, or if you don't see any of the main people that usually go hand in hand with one another. Because personally, I would love to see Jill come back as well. But Jill's not coming back because we already gave Jill another crack at Resident Evil 3, and for whatever reason, they just half-assed that game and decided it should have just been DLC. But they end up grifting a good $65-70 off everybody by making a title that everybody wanted to play but put nothing in it. And it was still a great fun time, but the game was literally like an hour and a half long. I mean, look, I get you want to be able to speed run some of these RE games and be able to beat them, but none of them should be beaten in that short amount of time. I mean, to get S rank on that thing, you would have to beat it in under an hour. And the fact that you can beat it in around that amount of time is crazy. I mean, that's insane. I mean, come on now, like, games shouldn't be that damn short without a whole bunch of replayability. Now, yeah, they had like 7 different difficulty settings, and on the last one, I'm pretty sure they had to go back in and fix the game because it was so broken to the point that you cannot beat the game. You can't even beat it with an infinite rocket launcher. I have tried. And I mean, I thought the hardest thing I was going to do in an RE game was trying to beat No Way Out on Resident Evil 2 Remake. You know, when you had to kill 100 zombies in the gas station when you were sitting around like shooting at everybody. Dude, that was insane, and I cannot believe for the life of me I actually pulled that off. But just another little dig at people like the Critical Gamer and the Hills Meet Babyface and the people like that who are always crying out here on the internet, and the fact that they get so upset every time they see another female on screen as a strong boss babe that's out here trying to take over the world and take over video games and all the manly IPs. Well, I'm pretty sure that these people would only be satisfied with games like No Mercy, a game that was literally designed to fulfill crazy people's fantasies, where you're allowed to literally choke out and ancestrally have sex with people in your family. I mean, it doesn't make any sense why anybody would create this game that wasn't Looney Tunes. You know, people had these thoughts in the back of their head like, oh my God, who could be crazy enough to make a movie like Hostel? Or who would come up with 10 movies like Saw, like James Wan? That doesn't mean he's as crazy as the people that would make the game No Mercy. Nobody was just torturing women to the point where it was like, this is a visual fantasy. Everybody got effed up in Saw movies and Hostel. Like, it was everybody got them hands. This is a little bit different. And that's what bothers me about these people who have these criticisms. And unfortunately, it seems to be mostly white guys. And there's also some other brothers that be in the mix too, that be over there riding that gravy train over here bitching about the same stuff, but I don't see the same issues coming from, well, black dudes. Honestly, I really don't see the upsettedness. Now, I hope somebody was triggered enough by some of the takes that I just had out here to where they're like, you know what, let's share this video. Let's clown this guy. Let's go ahead and trash him out here on the internet because he's an idiot that doesn't know what he's talking about. He's another woke gamer. Woke. You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest and most overused words in the history of mankind. Everything is woke now. If it has minorities, it's woke. If it has women, it's woke. So I guess what? RA9 immediately woke. So it should bomb, right? I guess this game is already destined to fail, even though anybody who is desperate to play Resident Evil wants to play this game. Because most people who play Resident Evil don't give a shit about what sex the main character is. Because Resident Evil is one of those IPs who seems to have found a way to write female characters the right way, where they're not all stale and terrible like half the women that are in the MCU. Even though some of them actually have nuances, but they do find a way to make a lot of them very similar, and that is very disappointing because that's why people love these characters in RE. Some people thought Rebecca Chambers was going to return in this game. Maybe she will. Maybe it will be an all-female cast and it'll just piss off all those people. Maybe this will be a game that you got Alicia Ashcroft, and then you got Rebecca Chambers, and you get Claire Redfield all in one game, and then you get no dudes. Now that would be a little disappointing, but I'd still play it. I would still play the game because I love Resident Evil, and I would still be waiting for the other remakes that they're going to make come out, because that's all we really want. We just want to see more of these titles come out in the RE engine and see these games reimagined and relive, because that's what we love. I mean, I'm really excited about this game, but I did want to get it out there, and I just want to know what your thoughts are. I want to know what you think is actually going to take place in this video game, because after watching that trailer, I'm pumped. That thing is, hey, the first person you see is a black man. I'm like, oh my God, somebody's already like, whoa, it's woke. It's a woke game because the first person they saw was black. Immediately triggered. Why are they throwing black men into Resident Evil? Even though the first man that you saw really killed inside the mansion of the first one was Kenneth, who was a black guy. Unfortunately, we won't get Kenneth's playthrough. Why could we just get a version where we get like a 10-minute playthrough of Kenneth right before he met his demise to the one zombie over there? Like, poor Kenneth didn't stand a chance in that first game, did he? To think little Rebecca Chambers and some criminal survived the mess that they survived on that train and then ended up at the mansion, and then you had Kenneth, that brother died by one zombie, it looked like, because it didn't look like there was any other ones in the building. He got to the mansion first, apparently. Like, he must have been the fastest person on Stars, which I guess stereotypes, you know, are still there, where the fastest man on the team was black, and he got to the mansion by himself and died tragically. The black guy always dies first. But that is debatable, because there were guys that were out there in the field after the crash that died by the dog. So, I mean, who knows? It might be a tie for first. But I'm really excited for this game. I am. I'm just really pumped that it's eventually coming out. It does suck that it's a while away, and I really, really, really hope it doesn't get delayed like everything else. I really hope it doesn't get delayed, and I really hope they don't charge $100 for this game, because that's what they're charging for everything now, but they probably are. Well, anyway, I just want to get this out there, and please tell me what you think in the comments. See you soon.